You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. Your heart's pounding, your palms are a little sweaty, and you're trying to deliver this amazing message. But what if the way you think you're coming across isn't really the full picture? Well, that's what we're going to tackle today. We're breaking down a simple, but honestly an incredibly powerful method to help you truly master your presence.
So, first up, let's talk about something I like to call the presentation blind spot. It's this tricky kind of invisible gap between how we feel on the inside, when we're speaking, and what our audience actually sees and hears on the outside.
I mean, seriously, just pause and think about that for a second. You might feel like you're projecting tons of confidence and you're being super clear. But is that really the message your body language and your tone are sending? This is a huge source of anxiety for presenters. And you know what? It's for a really good reason.
And this is how that disconnect usually plays out. In our heads, we feel like a superhero at the podium, confident, clear, so engaging. But for the audience, well, their reality might be a little different. What feels like a solid, steady stance to you might actually look like nervous, shifting feet to them. That brilliant, crystal clear thought in your mind, it might just come out as a bit of a mumble. And those little pauses you take to gather your thoughts, to the audience, they can just sound like a constant stream of ums and ahs.
Okay, so how do we close this gap? How can we finally see ourselves the way our audience does? Well, it turns out the solution's way simpler than you might imagine. In fact, you already have access to the most honest, totally unbiased critic you could ever ask for.
See, the key thing is, if you genuinely want to improve, you need feedback that isn't, clouded by someone being polite or just throwing an opinion. You need a perfect mirror, something that shows you exactly what's happening, with absolutely zero judgment.
And that perfect mirror? Yep, it's right there in your pocket. It's your smartphone camera. This is probably the most powerful and accessible tool for self-improvement that most of us presenters totally overlook.
So what makes this little trick so effective? Well, for starters, it gives you truly objective feedback. The camera doesn't lie, right? It also captures every single verbal tick, every little filler word you didn't even realize you were using. It reveals all those unconscious nonverbal habits, like fidgeting or maybe not making enough eye contact. And maybe the best part, it's completely private. It's your own safe space to practice, to watch yourself back, and to improve without any pressure from anyone else.
Now, this isn't about just watching yourself once and cringing. We've all done that. The real power here comes from turning this into an actual plan, a simple, repeatable cycle that you can use for constant improvement.
And the process is just a simple 3-step loop. First, you record. Just film yourself giving the presentation, or even just a tiny part of it. Second, you identify. Watch that recording and be honest with yourself. Pinpoint your limitations. And third, you plan for improvement. Make a solid plan for just 1 or 2 things you want to focus on next time. Then you just do it all over again.
As the source material puts it, the whole goal here is to identify their limitations and way to improve the verbal and nonverbal. It's a really targeted approach, focusing on those 2 absolutely crucial channels of communication.
So what should you actually be looking for when you watch yourself back? On the verbal side, listen for all those filler words, check your pacing, are you rushing things, and really notice your volume and your tone. For the nonverbal cues, watch your posture, what are your hands doing, your eye contact with the camera, and of course, any of that nervous fidgeting. This is a great little checklist to get you started.
By repeating this loop, you're doing way more than just fixing a few small mistakes. You are actively, consciously working toward a much bigger, much more powerful goal, truly mastering your presence.
So what do we even mean by effective presence? Well, it's that magic moment when your verbal and nonverbal signals are perfectly in sync, working together to deliver your message with total authenticity and authority. It's when what you say and how you say it become one powerful, seamless force.
And why does all of this matter? Because mastering your presence leads to real, tangible results. Your confidence just skyrockets because you're no longer just guessing how you come across. Your message becomes so much clearer because you've stripped away all those little distractions. And all of this leads to much, much greater engagement from your audience because they're connecting with you, not with your nervous habits.
And the absolute best part of all this, it all starts with just one single tool, one decision to hit that record button. Just one simple step toward becoming the powerful, effective presenter you know you can be. Everything you need to take your skills to the next level is literally right there, waiting for you. The most honest feedback you will ever get is just one tap away. So the only real question is, are you ready to press play and truly start listening?